Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering a lot of news topics for Kaspa. I'm a little bit sick and there's a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and get into it. First off, the price of Kaspa is sitting at 11 cents. The current volume in the last 24 hours is sitting at $190 million. The current market cap is sitting at $2.9 billion, and this puts us at a ranking of number 39 in the entire crypto space. The current supply of Kaspa is sitting at 26.4 billion. Current hash rate is sitting at 826 petahash. The current percent mined is sitting at 92.27%. The next reduction in block reward is going to be in the next 13 days, and the current block reward is sitting at 4.90, and the next reward will be 4.62, and the amount of active addresses is currently sitting at 536,446 addresses. If we're taking a look at the inactive supply, you can see here that in the last 3 months, we're starting to see a very slight decrease, but it's still sitting at 73.53% of the supply has not moved in over 3 months. For 6 months, it's sitting at 54.84%. For over 1 year, it's sitting at 33.39%. For over 2 years, it's sitting at 13.35%, and over 3 years is sitting at 4%. Let's go ahead and get into some news topics. So first off, there was a new merchant that is now accepting Kaspa. The website is called poshbaby.ro, and it looks like a place where you can buy some baby items, which is actually pretty neat, and now it accepts Kaspa. Next, we have an announcement of Kaspeak saying, "Good day, friends. I'm happy to announce that we have finished developing the current implementation of Kaspeak and have published the entire source code in our repository." And if you head to this link, what this is about is basically a voice chat capability that is built directly on the Kaspa network. Next, there was a real estate listing that had appeared in Miami, and in the description, the person said that they were also willing to accept Bitcoin or Kaspa. Unfortunately, last I checked, it looks like they already pulled this real estate off the market, but when it was on the market, they only wanted to accept 2 cryptocurrencies, and it was Bitcoin and Kaspa. If you haven't already heard, Cassia version 0.2.0 is here, and I made an entire video going over all the new features and everything you could do with this new version, and Cassia is going to be receiving a lot more updates in the coming months, and we're also hoping to eventually see Cassia become an actual app on iPhone and Android. So a lot of stuff is going on there with Cassia messaging. Coin Athlete also decided to make a website called cassiabook.com, and this is a place where you can actually register your Kaspa address to be able to quickly find users that are on Cassia, and you can text them. And then on top of that, there is also a feature to claim free Kaspa so that you can actually try Cassia yourself and you don't have to give up any of your own Kaspa. You can claim some free Kaspa and then try Cassia. And if you do want to text me on Cassia, you can easily just set up a Cassia wallet and go ahead and search up the name Kaspa Silver in all lowercase, and my address should pop up. Lastly, there was a podcast in relation to Cassia messaging, and this podcast was with Ezio Dev, and this was a really cool podcast that gave a lot more insights into what Cassia is and the potential opportunities of this project. Next, we're going to be talking about a very interesting movement that is currently happening, where we're starting to see Bitcoiners acknowledge Kaspa and try to debunk it and try to argue against it. And we're actually starting to see Bitcoiners converting to Kaspa, starting to acquire a little bit of Kaspa on the side next to Bitcoin. And it all pretty much started once we had this X space, Bitcoin There's No Second Best, which I had the privilege to actually join in on. I went ahead and clipped the parts where I actually talked in this space. And so I have the video right here. Kaspa and Bitcoin go head to head in an X space. You can go ahead and listen. I think there was a lot of valuable information in there. But then ever since this has happened, we actually had gotten Gary Cardone to talk about Kaspa, of course, not in a positive light, but he did say here, "Where should I put my time, Bitcoin or Kaspa?" I went ahead and responded here. This is Bitcoin against Kaspa. Last 3 years, it's down 99%. I post this to simply say we can cherry pick all day. What will matter though is where the future is heading. Do you think the only wealth that can be made in this world will be by only holding Bitcoin? I know you don't believe this because you hold real estate still. So what you should do is put some time into both and make a proper decision after proper research. Ignoring Caspa isn't gonna make it go away, people. And then next we had this user by the name of VJ that was originally a Bitcoin maxi, very hardcore. You could see here, this was one of his posts in the past saying Bitcoin only, everything else is a scam, fight me. And now we have him actually adopting Caspa. And as you can see in his bio now, he says right here that his Bitcoin Caspa allocation is 90% Bitcoin, 10% Caspa. And it just because he became curious and he realized that he did not have any solid arguments against Caspa, now he is actually advocating for both Bitcoin and Kaspa. He even says here, had an in-person meeting with someone who works at a major crypto fund. He hadn't heard of Kaspa before. I sent him some Kaspa and I could tell by the look on his face, he was incredibly impressed by it. After telling me he's going to buy some Kaspa, he told me he'll connect me with his coworker who is a BTC maxi who may be open-minded, planting small seeds for institutions. And then this is another post that he made saying another Bitcoin maxi converted part of their Bitcoin stack to Caspa. You can see here the screenshot showing 0.25 Bitcoin went into Caspa here. And then we had another Bitcoiner by the name of Bitcoin AJ that decided to also accept Caspa now with his business. He says here, from a Bitcoin only maxi to now a Bitcoin and Caspa allocator. In just a couple days, Caspa taught me more about Satoshi's vision and Bitcoin than other resources available. Still learning, but with my eyes being open, I'm super excited to use Caspa as a payment system for my business and onboard others along the way. Now, the business that he started is called BTC Landscaping LLC, and this is his commercial landscaping company. But now he's going to be accepting Bitcoin and Caspa for his company here. And it is kind of funny to see that there are some Bitcoiners that are pretty sad that someone else decided to embrace Caspa with Bitcoin together. And so this user says, we lost AJ, good lad. And then we also had this other Bitcoiner who was actually trying to mock Caspa, but then starting to realize that Caspa is actually something you really can't ignore. And he says here, I swear, every time I post about Caspa, I get a million comments. You guys are insane. And then he went ahead and have to make this post saying, as much as I love learning about new stuff like the Cas folks are trying to get me to now, Bitcoin will still be the ultimate king and I'll never slow down on that front. Don't mistake curiosity and learning for a lack of conviction or that I'm going to sell my Bitcoin. And I can assure you, I'm actually in DMs with this individual trying to teach him a little bit about Caspa. And then this was another person that was also a Caspa skeptic, but has now become a Caspa believer in a small way. And he says, same, I only did my 10% allocation a few days ago, just in time. I'm already up 17%. So this person also converted a little bit of their money into Caspa after they decided to do the deep dive research and not just ignore Caspa and have pointless arguments to actually defend why they should ignore it. They decided to be curious, and it basically leads people to understand that Caspa is something revolutionary here. It's not something that is a scam or a meme coin or a joke. It's something serious here, and it's really cool to see people opening their eyes up to this. I went ahead and made this post, and I do want to kind of tell everyone about this. Just an FYI, Cas, Bitcoiners will eventually stop ignoring Caspa, and they're going to push this narrative. Caspa is good. Caspa does solve problems, but I would only look at it as an investment. Caspa will only be able to seriously compete with ETH, Sol, XRP, etc. I may put a little in there because it has fundamentals I support, and I would never invest into those other coins. Bitcoin is still a savings tool, a monetary system. Caspa is just an investment. And I say, let me put this out there now, people. Caspa can also be a savings tool. Caspa is sound money. Caspa has a fixed supply. Caspa is an alternative monetary system to our rapidly decaying fiat one. And lastly, Caspa can also provide solutions for DeFi, smart contracts, and all those other things that these other networks want to provide in a very centralized way. This is a true permissionless network where Caspa will be able to fit the need that you may want. Caspa enables a higher increase in self-sovereignty because layer 2s are more of a choice for users rather than a necessary means to using your wealth. Onwards. So let's keep studying Caspa and opening people's eyes to this truth. Castmedia.com released this article entitled Let Freedom Ring, Caspian Freedom Updates. You can go ahead and read that if you click the link down below to any of these posts. Probify platform has announced that they're going to be releasing prediction markets on the Caspa network. So this is really cool to see. Just another use case if you're into those kinds of stuff. You could see here that this is a prediction market. Will Caspa reach $1 by the end of 2025? And you can go ahead and bet on what you think is going to happen. And you could do all of this on the Caspa network via layer 2 solutions with smart contracts. So really cool to see more use cases coming to Caspa. We also had an announcement here from JH saying that Caskeeper is a wallet built by the Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation. I went ahead and asked if this was open source, and he did reply to me and say you can wait until it is open source before using it, but it will be open source eventually. Currently it is not though, but there is a brand new extension wallet that you can use now for Caspa called Caskeeper. Next, I wanted to make this announcement here. I say can't code, no problem. Self-teach yourself things, and one day you can be a part of Rusty Caspa as well. Happy to say I'm a part of contributing to the open source Cas code in some way. I know it's just fixing a typo in the README, no biggie, but you got to start somewhere. Mind you, when I joined Caspa, I was so motivated to do something. It's what led me to YouTube because I knew I couldn't code. On this journey, I have learned so many skills that are actually useful in general. I share this to hopefully inspire others to know that you have a part in Caspa's success. This is not going to just be an overnight success. It is going to take motivated individuals seeing Caspa for what it is and doing something about it to make it successful. Onwards. And you could see here that this is the Rusty Caspa code, and I was actually able to be a part of the contributors to this code. Even though I did not do any specific kind of coding, I did just fix a typo, but you have to definitely start somewhere. Next, Michael Sutton released a very long post here that you guys can go ahead and read yourself, but he wanted to give some raw thoughts on Caspa's next big upgrades. He goes ahead and talks about the Dagnite protocol and also zero knowledge layer 1 to layer 2 bridge that are going to be coming out in the future. So you can go ahead and read that when you click the link down below. Next, we have Igra Labs announcing that testnet 10 has now activated core smart contracts on the Caspa network. So right now, Igra Labs is testing smart contracts on Caspa right now on testnet 10. We also have Casplex announce that smart contracts are going to be launching on August 31st, 2025. And this is going to be on mainnet. And they say we are proud and excited to announce our layer 2 launch mainnet date. So Casplex is going to be launching smart contracts. Caspa will finally have smart contracts after next month, which is really awesome to see. And then last but not least, I'm going to be in a debate with Rajat Sun Finance, and we're going to be discussing Caspa and Bitcoin. It's going to be pre-recorded, and then it's going to go out live within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And before we go, if you have not considered getting yourself a Tangem wallet, Tangem does have the exclusive Caspa card still available. And if you use the code CASPASILVER at the checkout, you will receive 10% off your order. And I do also receive a commission for that. And I greatly do appreciate that because it does help support my channel. If you order Caspa on an exchange, you are not fully self-custodying your Caspa, and your Caspa may or may not ever be seen again if you do not self-custody your Caspa and that exchange goes bankrupt. So it's super important to make sure that you are holding your Caspa in your own cold storage wallet, and Tangem is a great way to do this. Thank you again for watching this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and as always, don't be average, be different.